Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And it seems like it was a rather slow week, but with a lot of stuff happening, actually. I don't really have much of an introduction this time, so I'm just going to go straight into it. So, Minecraft Dungeons came out, and I obviously have begun to play through that. And people have been asking me, like, offline ever since I did that video, like, some things like, oh, have you got rolled a 2 in this particular area, such and such? Or, I don't know, what level have you gotten up to since we last talked, or something like that along those lines? Or what secret levels have you unlocked? The answer to all those questions is that I don't play Minecraft Dungeons unless it's on camera. And I've only done 3 episodes, recording-wise. Only one's been uploaded. So, I'm not really, super, immersed in the game yet in order to be, doing stuff off camera. Because, yes, grinding is part of the experience. But when you're trying to film it, it becomes a case of what do you show and what do you not show on screen. Because essentially, what grinding would look like in this game is basically the same as whatever anything else would look like. You go to a dungeon, you kill a bunch of monsters, you move on, you do the mission. It's not like there's really anything that makes grinding different from regular gameplay. So it's very hard to tell when you're doing one or when you're doing the other, at least for me. Which is why I don't play off camera. And I've probably only played for a collective 2 hours across the about a week since it's been out. So really there's no point asking me questions about the game or anything. And also, people have been talking about the DLC packs and what they're going to have. I don't know about that either. I could research it, but I will leave that up to the surprise. Oh well. So that was a thing. Anything else happened this week? Not particularly. I don't think anything else stands out about this week. I don't know, but I think because of this, in real life, I've been indoors all the time, whatever. And yes, but that's per usual. But even then, sometimes things happen. Like, we did another quiz, of course. We hosted another quiz, so that's good. We're the first people, I think, in the neighborhood to actually do 2 quizzes hosted. So actually, that's been going quite well. The quiz hosting, you've gone from lost one, hosted one, won one, and then hosted another. So in the quiz, we're performing quite well, considering that most of the questions there are a bit of a generational gap between who will be able to answer them and who won't. Although the last one, especially the last one, which I thought I was going to be terrible at because it was the decade, actually turned out to be all right. Go figure. Oh well, that's weird things happen quite a lot. So, in other news, I finished the visuals for the Mutant Girl episode 3, season 2. And now I just have to actually edit that, or get the new intro as well, because that's something else that I was going to mention. I haven't received any of the test videos the first videos from either person who offered to edit for me. So, Looney and Liz both have gotcha reviews that I was trying to get out, but they ended up they ended up not actually delivering them yet. One of them because the video was 600 gigabytes. And the other one, I don't know, I haven't really like talked to her yet about it, so I'll see. I just hope we didn't get a repeat of last time, because there's this kind of thing like almost happened with Roxy. I mean, partly because I was like super pressuring in terms of what I actually got her to do, which was of course like Music Girl episode 7 and part of 8. So I was very pressuring in terms of like getting those out on release date, which of course they weren't. That was because, you know, they need to be good and presentable. So I can kind of get that. And I do have high hopes for these videos. Like, I've seen some of the trial visuals that Looney has done, and I can tell that they're a lot. They're not 600 gigabytes, you know, worthy of that. I don't know what file type she's chosen, but it's clearly the largest one ever humanly created, because otherwise I can't explain why a 20-minute video ended up being that big a file size. So I will have to ask her about that. I think it's the only way to really find out what file it is to wait for it. I mean, you think that whatever software she's using or whatever program, which I've asked her twice, she hasn't told me, you think that it would say something like, oh yeah, loading insert name here .mov or .mp4 .wnv, I don't know, something .avi, whatever the common files or types are. But no, it doesn't seem to say that. So when I figure out what program it is, I will investigate into it, because I think it's a free one. I'll investigate into it and see what the actual difference is, because at least it's a PC one, so that's something within my territory to actually explore, because obviously the realms of mobile are not my forte. Speaking of mobile, actually, apparently Gacha Club just released on iOS, which actually means that I can get Gacha Club. So who knows, maybe mobile gacha might be something that I attempt in future, although I don't quite know what the difference between Gacha Club is, because obviously there are different gacha games, like, because of Gacha Studio, Gachaverse and Gacha Life all having a very similar idea to them, or at least the similar way they were used in the end. I know that Nasib told me that they had different original purposes, like one of them was for role-playing, one of them was for dress-up or something like that, which they all have the same core features, so they're essentially the same game, different art styles. I know there are different ones like Gacha World, Gacha Resort, and now, presumably, Gacha Club, that are slightly different. Unless Gacha Club is Gacha Life 2, and that's what we've all been waiting for. Because there is a chance that it might be, because, you know, I don't know how well it would go down if Lunime Games suddenly came out that they were not working on Gacha Life 2 as promised, but instead released a different game at the same time. It's like when Teen Titans Go came out versus Teen Titans Season 6, I think they were waiting for? Yeah. Whichever season it was. You know, in terms of public outrage, that may come back to bite them. Unless, of course, it is the renamed Gacha Life 2, in which case, well done, because, you know, that's something we'll definitely have to check out. I will be doing some research into that probably today, but I will be editing Music Girl Season 2 Episode 3, because, again, that's what I got to do. In terms of the intro, I gave that to Looney as well, and when I say Looney, I mean Looney Ramen, not Lunime Games, because that would be very fitting. Just for the record, that guy came down like at full speed and was not even on the bike track. Look, there he is. There he is on the footpath. On the bike path is right there. I don't quite know why, but there you go. Clearly he was in a rush to get somewhere. Didn't even slow down all that much when he got to the fences. I'm very confused. But oh well. Oh, and my shoelace is undone again. What a shock that is. Okay, tread with caution, I suppose. Don't want to pull a SpongeBob. Okay. In any case, where was I? Yeah, so Mutant Girl Season 2, Episode 3. I mean, that one is, of course, Natasha Nassib's last performance. So, after that is done, I will make a more comprehensive video on how we ended up losing the pair of them. And why I think it's all ridiculous, the reason that they left. But, we'll see. That's, I wanted to get that video out first, you know, just to make sure. And they definitely, to give them the longest run possible. Well, at least Natasha anyway, because none of Nassib's characters were actually in the episode. I will say this, the episode itself is a prequel. So it's how Morwenna and Agatha first met. So it's 2 years ago, they were both 11, and it was in their old school. So there are a few school assets that I had not used before that are now in a different school. Which I didn't think you really do, because, I mean, before I looked into it, it seems like Gacha Life only had one school that was just split across several backgrounds, which made sense, but it made it difficult to try and expand on that. And also the fact that next season they'll end up going to high school, which is another problem in of itself because of, you know, the way that high school, you know, has to be different. Although who knows, by that point I'll probably just be looking for other backgrounds, and watching Liz's videos I have now become more inspired to actually attempt to use more realistic backgrounds, even if they're 3D and Gacha Life is 2D. Because the reason I didn't do that before, as I said before, was that Dang That's a Long Name said it was a bad idea, and it was very jarring, although that is one man's opinion. So I guess now that I've seen both versions, I have grown to appreciate it a bit more. And also the fact that people were green screening gachas before I even knew that they were doing so. So there's that. They just weren't using it for animation, which is fair enough. So yeah, hopefully that will come out soon. I'll probably be editing a Minecraft Dungeons episode at the same time, because I am in the middle of editing episode 2. Well, I say the middle, I started it and then dropped it for a while to film Mutant Girl episode 3. So that will happen. Either way, I don't know what the future has in store for the Mutant Girl just yet. It's debatable as to how exactly that's going to turn out. 1 second, there are people in front of me. There we go. Oh, and there you go, I did actually tread on my shoelace, but it was only when I remained static. Oh, is that the same guy? I think that might be the same guy. Oh well, better not go down the road that he went. Just in case. So, there's that. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I do have another actress in mind for Morwenna in particular. Maybe I'll do like another open cast to see if I can, you know, redistribute some of the characters or just cast internally like I always did with Mutant Girl. Who knows? It would be interesting to see people actually, you know, come in and voice act for a part that was replaced. You know, there was a replacement from someone else who's already done so for quite some time. Because I say that's because obviously, you know, with all the gacha voice acting projects being so new, and the Mutant Girl being a year old, well, over a year old, it does make a difference. So, who knows, it could be the first time that that kind of voice acting audition in that specific nature has been done, which I look forward to. Why not? So, I think that's probably it, like all things considered. Minecraft Dungeons, Mutant Girl, quiz. Really, that was it for me this week. Everything else was was going on elsewhere. You know, just passing us by. So, oh well. I think I've of course got to the end of the road as well. So, good chance to veer around. So yeah, who knows what this was going to hold. I've had people tell me that it might be like the end of Buttercore, for example. Or, you know, with everyone quitting, you know, with a lot of animosity going on after the Puppy Love casting, things like that. But the thing is that we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we're working on, lots of scripts, lots of other projects. People are always active doing something, whether it's for Buttercore or for themselves, or for one of the other companies, because there's a lot of other ones, like, for example, like, Kitty Core just got renamed. I can't remember what it's renamed to, but it's something. There's obviously Angel Light Studios, and whatever Alex calls his productions as well. So, who knows? There's a lot going on that we're all working on anyway, so even if I'm not doing stuff around here, you know, somebody else will over on their channels. But, of course, you've got episode 3 to look forward to in the very near future. So, as far as I'm aware, you know, as long as the channel is active, and I am as well, the Mutant Girl will keep coming back, you know, despite whatever adversity it faces. So, that said, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell.